as exciting as it is to build a business, there are definitely down moments. Whatever it is, it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
But when we're passionate about what we do, which is really, it just makes us, I think, gives us one more reason to overcome those challenges or those low moments, because we really care for the subject. And it makes it more fun. Now, looking back, I'm so glad that when I was 20 or 25 or even 30, somebody didn't give me $1 million, because I wouldn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
I feel like I earned everything I learned and everything I know now, I earned my own way. My role as an entrepreneur is to create systems in place that will help them to do it in a very efficient way. My role is to create the vision and the mission for the organization, set clear goals and objectives, communicate priorities, and put the right people in places.
And that's next on Bootstrapping Your Dreams show. So, the big question is this. How are ambitious people like us, who don't have a lot of resources, did not go to Ivy League colleges, were not born into wealth, how do we become resourceful enough? Use our creativity, our dedication, and a little bit of crazy to bootstrap our way to realizing our dreams. Whether it is launching a new company, launching a new app, or making it to the top of the corporate ladder. That is the question. And this podcast will give you the answers. Hey listeners and viewers, we have created a tremendous community of bootstrappers, entrepreneurs, and professionals who are ambitious, resourceful, and want to get things done. We brainstorm, support, and help each other out. Come join us. Navigate to bootstrapping.group. That is bootstrapping.group. If you like this video, do not forget to hit that like button now. Or if you want us to improve our content, go ahead and hit the thumbs down button and give us your feedback in the comment section below. Here at Tetranoodle, we are passionate about entrepreneurship, technology, and innovation. Every week, we bring you insightful and engaging interviews, tips, tricks, and strategies to help you grow your business or rise in your corporate profession. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And do not forget to hit that bell icon so that you are notified when we publish new content. Hello and welcome to this new episode of Bootstrapping Your Dreams show. Today we will be talking with Aleksandra Efimova. Aleksandra is the CEO of RP Group International, which she founded in 1998 and grew into a premier brand of footwear, apparel, accessories, and wellness products. She is an entrepreneur and leader with extensive experience in developing collaboration among individuals and organizations throughout the business, nonprofit, governmental, and educational sectors. She holds an executive diploma from the Harvard Business School. She appeared on the Inc. 5000 list. She was an EY Entrepreneur of the Year finalist in 2017. And she has been featured in many publications, including Forbes Women, Bloomberg, Newsweek, NBC Chicago, and Crain's Detroit Business. Well, welcome, Aleksandra. We are so excited to have you here.
Thank you for such a warm welcome. It's a true pleasure to be on your podcast for such an important topic, which is one of my most favorite topics in life, is entrepreneurship.
Yeah, exactly. And we have a lot of aspiring and existing entrepreneurs in our audience, and we also have career professionals who want to climb that corporate ladder. But at the end of the day, the principles for entrepreneurs and professionals, they are very similar. They overlap. Let's start there. Let's talk about your journey. How did you get started in entrepreneurship?
Me starting as an entrepreneur was a true accident. With my family, we came to the United States in 1993. I completed 2 years of high school in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and then I started my undergraduate studies. And I studied international business. In my life back in Soviet Union and Russia, I was a dancer, ballet, competitive ballroom dancing, also graduated from Hermitage Museum Art School, thinking I will be building career in the world of arts.
I see.
When we came to the United States and I started my education here, I get really interested in business classes. And growing up in Soviet Union, we really didn't even have the concept of entrepreneurship. So I didn't grow up dreaming of having my own business or even seeing anybody around me having their own business because everything was owned by the government.
Mm-hmm.
So I started in my undergraduate studies, and as part of my education program during my junior year, we had to write a business plan for one of the entrepreneurship classes. Mm-hmm. And some students wrote a business plan about starting a restaurant, transportation company, a bank. And I thought, what do I know and what do I like? Mm-hmm. I love dance. I love arts. I know a lot about Russia. What is Russia famous for? We're famous for ballet and putting mm-hmm. men in a space, amongst many other things. So I thought, well, why don't I write a business plan on what it's like to import some ballet shoes from Russia? And after I completed the plan, I thought, well, I am putting myself through school. I'm working. But this plan that I wrote as part of my education sounds like a pretty good plan. I mean, I put a lot of thought and work into it. So I decided to execute it. And this is exactly how I started. I was 20 years old. I lived in a college apartment with a roommate. Mm-hmm. I used $1,200, which was a financial aid from the state of Michigan for that semester. I used that to finance my my business cards, opening a corporation in America, buying the first supplies, and going on the first local business trip to see customers. So this is how I started 21 years ago. Currently, we are one of the premier brands of dancewear. It's called Russian Point. We are sold in over 550 stores. We also have a very successful e-commerce business and with official suppliers to many top dance companies around the world. We offer a full selection of dancing products, apparel, footwear, accessories, wellness, and we do it for all types of dance: ballet, tap, jazz, character, modern, lyrical, and many others.
Awesome. That's an amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, one thing I noticed, which is quite interesting, is that you made your hobby something that you really liked and you were passionate for. You made it into a business. How much that had a role in actually growing this business to the extent that it has grown over the years?
I feel very fortunate that I found an opportunity to build a successful business in something that I'm truly passionate about. Mm-hmm. And I spent my whole life dancing. I danced for University of Michigan ballroom dance team. So, and I really believe that the arts, fitness, dance, movement is good for people. Yeah. At any age. At young age, girls not only learn beautiful technique, but it teaches them skills that will help them succeed in all aspects of their life. Yeah. Discipline, focus, teamwork, performance, confidence to be on stage. These are all the skills that they will need when they become successful career bankers or entrepreneurs, doctors, engineers, public speakers. Mm-hmm. And as exciting as it is to build a business, there are definitely down moments. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is, it's unavoidable. Yeah. But when we're passionate about what we do, which is really, it just makes us, I think, gives us one more reason to overcome those challenges or those low moments because we really care for the subject. And it makes it more fun. All my team members, they're very passionate about dance. They either used to be dance teachers or they're still coaches, judges, or they danced as a child and then they majored in business. And it's like a perfect merge of two things, their passion for dance and their education and marketing, for example. So it certainly made a difference for me. But at the same time, I want to warn the entrepreneurs who, or as somebody who is thinking what business to start, is that there's a little sense that my passion and my hobby for dance became a bit of a work. Uh-huh. And 14 years ago, I stopped dancing because I wanted to have that separation between my business and my hobbies and passions, which kind of strengthened my love for dance because now I'm really excited to wake up in the morning and go work with dancers. But then I developed some really fantastic other hobbies beyond dance. So this is like a little bit of a stick with two edges. The positive one, because it makes us really excited to work in the industry, but in a way, like I lost that as a passion, as a hobby, because it became work.
I see. That's a very good point, actually. I've never heard anybody share that point of view that, if you are very passionate about something and you actually incorporate that into your business, it may feel overwhelming because it's your passion and you're dealing with that all day, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So yeah, I mean, I can see how that can become a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
Great. Now let's talk about your early success. You said, you had $1,200, you started the business. So I assume that was the only investment you put it in there. So almost like a bootstrap your business.
Yeah. So early success, I would say it's a very over-glamorized statement. And that's another important thing that I want to share with aspiring entrepreneurs. What you said in my introduction, the Forbes article, the Inc. 5000 list, the Harvard Business School, this came much, much, much later, together with the financial rewards that made me able to afford beautiful apartments and phenomenal trips and luxury cars and many other great things that people associate with success. In a longest time of life before I was, while I was growing the business, it was very, very difficult and I struggled tremendously. $1,200 was definitely not enough to grow the business. So I had to figure out how to be creative in every possible way. I would reinvest everything that I would make, reinvest it back in the business. I would have to be creative. How do I use my little funds available to get the maximum impact? And in a way, I'm very happy about this because it also taught me how to find ways to use our marketing money, to use the time, the limited resources to get the maximum effect and maximum results.
Yeah. No, that's so true. Like that goes hand in hand with bootstrapping. And that's why I'm quite passionate about that. Do you think now, like, let's say earlier on, if you met an investor, a rich investor, and they said, I like your idea, I'm willing to invest $1 million in your idea. Do you think you would have been successful, in this to the same extent as you have been right now, or bootstrapping is a better way to grow a business and take it to the level that you are at?
It's a very good question, and I think it depends. Now looking back, I'm so glad that when I was 20 or 25 or even 30, somebody didn't give me $1 million because I wouldn't know what to do with it. I feel like I earned everything I learned and everything I know now, I earned my own way. Maybe it was slower. Maybe I would have moved faster. But I feel such a confidence now and understanding of every process because I used to be the one packing those boxes and taking it to the UPS station. I used to be the one going to every single sales call, every single trade show, and picking up the phone to process that order. So I understand how the customers think, and I understand how the product design works and how the inventory management works. So now, if I do bring investment from the outside, whatever the format is, I definitely make a much better choices how to invest it. And I always invest it as it is my own money, not as somebody else's money. Because when it's not your own money, it is much easier to waste it. And when you're in a situation where, which I've been to, UPS would stop coming to pick up the boxes, where the phones got shut off, when electricity got shut off, and when I get kicked out of my university for not paying the bills, that's a very different mode of survival that I had to figure out how to fix the problem and how to fix the the mistakes that were made.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, those are really true signs of bootstrap entrepreneur getting through tough times and learning from it and growing from it. So thanks a lot for sharing that as well. Now, one of the things that I like to talk about with people who have immigrated from abroad, because immigration seems to be a very hot topic these days. Do you think you had some advantages or disadvantages having grown up in a different country, different culture, and then coming over to America to start a new business?
I have never thought, and I never questioned myself whether it's advantage or disadvantage, because I can't change it. I just got to deal with that. So I I was too young, I think, to even think about that I'm in disadvantage. I was 15 years old when we came, and I'm like, okay, well, now I live in America. I got to learn the language. I got to figure out how I'm going to do with my future. Things changed. My parents got divorced, so now this is my new life. And back then, 26 years ago, I think we didn't discuss so much in a society or in the media that immigrants are in disadvantage or women are in disadvantage. I never felt that I'm in disadvantage because I'm a foreigner. I speak 2 languages. That's an advantage. I'm a woman. Maybe I can use my charming smile sometimes and fix certain things that maybe a man can't. I always thought of like, I want to turn my, what seems like disadvantage into advantage. I was 20 years old who started the business. And they didn't even take me serious in the print shop. They didn't even take me serious in anywhere. In a bank, they thought I'm like a secretary. And, but guess what? It kind of toughens you up as a character. It teaches you how to prove with results that you earned the seat at that table. And it's only the results that speak louder than words. So I never thought that it's a disadvantage, and I don't want anybody who comes from a foreign country, look at it as you had an experience in life, and moving from one city to another toughens you up. But to do it across the country it makes you even better as a person.
Yeah, that's an excellent advice. Now, let's talk about getting customers. So how did you get your first customers?
Well, let's go back into 1998. How did we get our customers? It was either knocking on a door, or I was using Yellow Pages to make cold calls, right? There was very basic internet with the dial-up. There was no Google, there was no Yelp, and there was no social media. So the only way we could locate customers was Yellow Pages. And I would open the Yellow Pages in the letter D, and I would make phone calls to everybody who is in that category, whether it's a dancing supplies or dancing schools. And at that time, I spoke English only 4 years, so I had a very thick Russian accent where I would have zero marketing experience. I didn't know what a good sales call is like, so I would approach customers, and it was something sounded like this. My name is Aleksandra. I have shoes from Russia, and Russian ballet is good, and you must buy my shoes.
Okay.
So if the customers didn't hang up on phone on me, that was already a very successful phone call.
Yeah.
So that's how we started. And also, if you think about it, so if you live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, the only Yellow Pages you have in your phone booth or delivered to your home is from Ann Arbor area.
I see.
And maybe you can get the Yellow Pages from Detroit. But you don't have phone numbers from New York or California. So I would literally ask my friends who would travel to different parts of the country to rip out pages from Yellow Pages with the letter D from different parts of the country. And that's how I would collect numbers, because to buy a mailing list was too expensive for me. So if you ever came across of a Yellow Pages with the pages missing in the letter D, that was probably my fault.
Okay, awesome. That's great. This conversation is so full of wisdom, and it's really funny and informative at the same time. So I'm laughing because I've gone through similar things where you don't have resources and you just need to figure out how to get this information, whatever you're looking for, and you come up with these creative ways of doing things. And sometimes it's even embarrassing to admit that you did this. So thanks a lot for being honest and sharing that. Now, from there, how did you scale it? Like when I talk about scaling a business with entrepreneurs, a common story I hear is, there's a spurt of growth, and then it plateaus for some time, and then you figure out something else, and then it grows a little bit and then plateaus. Did you experience that, or was it like a sort of a steady rise in your business growth?
Yeah, so I would say in our case, it was a steady rise with kind of sales and the percentage of growth. But one of the big things I learned as entrepreneurs, my role as a leader is to lead and to work in a strategic alliances. And there's a couple exciting developments in our business I will be happy to share with you if you're ready. And to inspire and coach my team to perform at the best of their potential. And my role as an entrepreneur is to create systems in place to set that will help them to do it in a very efficient way. My role is to create the vision and the mission for the organization, set clear goals and objectives, communicate priorities, and put the right people in places. So once I learned how to do that, then we started growing together as a team faster, adding new products, allocating new customers, investing in the technology, going on more sales trips, putting more educational programs. So that's what I was able to do. So now, just very, very exciting. Recently, as you know, we started our own podcast, 5, 6, 7, 8 podcasts for people on the move. That's been a kind of a great media PR opportunity for us. And then recently we acquired a new brand in the fitness and wellness industry. So now we have RP Group International, the holding company of multiple brands for dance, fitness, wellness, and media, which each brand is strong enough to live on itself and function. But then there's a synergies between the brands and between the back office. And that's what I always had in mind for my business. So now I'm just really kind of high, I think. I mean, I don't know, I've never done drugs, but I think that's what feeling high is like, is this dream of operating the successful enterprise and portfolio of brands.
That's great. Well, congratulations on all the success. Now, one thing I wanted to, let me see. Yes, team. So you brought up a very important point about team. So when you bootstrap your business and you're growing, there comes a certain point where you cannot handle the business activities by yourself. So how did you recruit the team? How did you pay them when you were, struggling to pay yourself or even pay your rent?
Yeah, very good question. My very first helper was my roommate. So 2 students sharing one apartment. So my roommate would help me pack boxes after classes in exchange where I would pay portion of her rent. So that was my very first employee. And then there was a couple other students from Armenia, actually, who were my friends. So they would help me pack boxes. So that's what it was. And definitely, I had to pay them before I paid myself, because they depended on me.
I see.
So now I'm very lucky. The team I have, I'm very proud of them. There's great commitment and passion for success and for what we do, believe in the brands and synergy between the team. And one of my happiest moments in the office is when I hear my colleagues, laughing, drawing on the whiteboards, putting ideas together, and all of this is happening even without me. I'm a little jealous sometimes because they're having their own brainstorming meetings that they're going to brief me on later. But they're just having such a fantastic time together as a team, creating something, and they can do it without me. And it's almost like allowing them to do it without my own oversight, which is so awesome.
Awesome. That's great. So obviously you have built a very good culture, nourishing culture. How did you do that? What do you look for in people when you hire them, and how do you nurture them? How do you get them to a point where they're autonomous and doing things out of their own passion rather than you pushing them?
Yeah, it's a very important question. I think all leaders, we ask ourselves, how do we do it, and how do we build a good, healthy culture? And culture, it's what people do when no one is watching. Right? That's what, do they do the right thing when nobody is watching? Do they do it on their own? And we look for people with integrity, with work ethic, with honesty, and people who qualify and know what they're hired to do. We have a full transparency who is responsible for what. We keep them accountable. We have regular check-in meetings depending on how big the project is, or ongoing meetings. And also people need to understand how their part of the work fits into overall company projects and overall company movement. Because if they're only doing, let's say, inventory management, they need to, this is only as far as they see, but understanding how doing the inventory management well, how is that impacted by marketing, by the sales team, by the new collections we're introducing, by the new markets we're opening. They need to understand how they can do their job better, but then also if they do their job great, how that's going to help the rest of their team and their colleagues to do their job even better. And as a result of it, we have more business. So then we can add and design more products, and then their job becomes even more impactful, and then we'll win as a team. So it's a day-to-day, and it's in the small things. Yes, we're talking about the big strategy, but it's in the small thing. Are we holding the door for somebody? Are we offering to help with maybe carrying the bag if somebody just came back from the trip with the suitcases from the trade show? Are we celebrating birthdays and successes? So it's a big strategic planning, but it's a personal human-to-human relationship. And that's being built when we're together. You can't build a corporate culture if everybody sits in a separate Starbucks across the country. That's not a corporate culture. You got to be together. And I joke that you got to be around purple walls, which is our corporate color, because that has a positive impact on you. So we live in a very remote world, but I think it's so important that we all still get together.
Awesome. That's quite inspiring. Now, you also mentioned you grew your business with collaboration, partnerships with others. How important is that, especially earlier on when you're trying to sort of get new sales quickly and grow your business rapidly?
Well, it's important to have, I think, partnerships and alliances, whether it's organizations in the industry, whether it's local business clubs, maybe local universities, a mentorship group, or a peer support group of other entrepreneurs. So it's having the network of people to reach out to that, maybe not necessarily your clients, but somebody who can help you, whether through the network or through ideas or advice or connections. Very, very important.
Cool. And as you are growing your business, do you sometimes feel that things which used to work sometimes start to break down as you're scaling and you're growing, or is it a linear sort of process of just scaling your internal processes and people and team along with the business?
Yeah, it's a great question, because the only constant in life is change.
Yeah.
Change is hard. It's against the human nature.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I learned to love about my life and about life as an entrepreneur is the change. Whether it's a change of scenery when I'm going on a hiking trip to Mont Blanc with National Geographic, or whether it's learning a new hobby like kayaking, or being an entrepreneur of changing and improving in a constant mode. And currently, right before our interview, I was in a conference call with system with a company that's upgrading our backend, so all the inventory management, customer base, so technology, we're completely gutting it out, and it's scary because it's going to change the way we process orders, the way the team has to learn new things. Not to mention that cost I think like 3 times more than my first condominium that I ever purchased. So it's scary, but at the same time, I see what an opportunity that's going to give us to grow faster. I think the hard change for a lot of entrepreneurs is giving up control. Because entrepreneurs, we look at our business as our child and our everything. I mean, we put our life on the line for this business, and giving up control, even for highly qualified people that we hire to be our managers and vice presidents, is very, very challenging. So it's, I think we need to learn how to embrace change and how to be comfortable with the change, because the only thing constant in life is change.
Well, those are really good words of wisdom right there. Letting go of control is, I think it's very, how can I put it? Like, it's right there at in the top few things that entrepreneurs need to learn to do. And it's really hard, as you put it. And, you know, I struggle with it on many occasions and still trying to figure it out. But yeah, it's very, very important. Now, you have done a lot of things right. But you must have made some mistakes along the way. So can you share a few mistakes that you consider taught you really significant lessons, and what lessons were those?
It's a very good question. I think mistakes are unavoidable, right? hopefully we learn from our mistakes. There was definitely quite a few wrong hires that I did. And when I look back, I definitely see a lot of little signs in the beginning, either during interviews maybe, or right in the beginning, that were like, red flags that I kept avoiding, or I chose not to notice, or I brought it up to the attention, and then my team all convinced me that it's either fixable or we need to give a person more time. And in the end, it was we had to let go certain people, but in some cases that person caused a lot of trouble, whether it was internal turbulence, whether it was a ruined relationship with the clients. So one of the main things that I learned is to listen to my intuition. Things I learned from my mistakes is to listen to my intuition, to do more due diligence, not to avoid warning signs in the beginning. And I think if I would have been better equipped with maybe analyzing people or interviewing better at that time, I could have maybe avoided some of those mistakes. But it is it's part of owning a business.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about your podcast, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what is it about? It's an interesting name.
So when you tell it to a dancer, they say, I know what it is. It's a podcast about dance. So
I see.
So typically what a dance teacher will say right before they start a class. So there's a routine, like, and 5, 6, 7, 8, go. So that's when all the dancers get up and they start dancing. And so we were looking for a name that is not strictly tied into dance and ballet, but then something that would be very recognizable by people in the industry. And I just feel like we're in such a phenomenal industry of dance, and there's so many lessons to learn from dance that go beyond the dance floor or the stage, that I wanted to share these phenomenal stories with extraordinary people in the world of dance with my audience. I interview artistic directors, professional dancers, executive directors of dance companies, as well as people like foot podiatrists, Pilates instructors, entrepreneurs, or the people who used to work as dance as children, but now work in the different fields, executives in a banks or in nonprofit organizations, in engineering firms, to show them what they learned as dance as children, how it's helping them to succeed in life.
Got it.
It's been terrific. Like, I love doing interviews. I hope you're enjoying doing interviews as much as I do, because every time I do an interview, I get off the phone, I'm like, this is so cool. I learned so much about this person.
Exactly. No, it's so interesting just talking to people, sharing their successes, sharing their failures, learning from them. And it's the best thing in the world. And I get, as you know, we get to talk to so many accomplished, experienced people that it'll be really hard to get their time otherwise, but this medium allows us to connect with them. It's amazing.
Yes.
All right. This has been a very enlightening and very entertaining conversation. Thank you so much. Now, before I let you go, can you tell us how people can reach out to you and check out your products and share your passion for dance?
Yeah, thank you. So I have my personal website is aleksandra.com. I have Instagram, World with Aleksandra, and our company's websites are russianpoint.com. Podcast is 5678.com, and our fitness company is called flexistretcher.com. So awesome. Thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of your interview.
Thank you so much. Thanks once again.
And that's all for now. Until next time. And if you're an existing or an aspiring tech entrepreneur, then I invite you to check out my new online workshop, Bootstrapping Your Tech Startup Dreams. Go to bootstraptechstartup.com and sign up for free. I want to make sure that more successful and sound decisions are made every day in your tech projects. Let's start finding solutions to your problems. So go to bootstraptechstartup.com, and I look forward to helping you with your tech projects. If you want more engaging videos and insightful interviews with industry's thought leaders, then check out other videos we have picked for you. The link is right there. And if you want to be notified about our new content, please do consider subscribing to our channel.